Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 42 of Brat Said That. I am streaming on not one platform, but two platforms. Yes, multi-platform. It's a BratWURST. Yes, I try and StreamYard here for the first time. I'm recording the show. I'm going to edit it, going to put it all together. But here on Facebook Live is the interactions. It's just me creating the show. So, it's like on Real on WWE, it's on Real on Brat Said That. Yes, so when I say, the Elimination Chamber, Danhausen, very spooky, very evil, I'm going to have a video or image of Danhausen on StreamYard, which I'm going to release on YouTube. So, we have a lot to talk about. I don't know what camera to look at. I got my webcam here, and I got the Facebook camera here, which the Facebook camera is so much better than the webcam, but it is an insane situation that we have going on right here. But I think I'm going to focus more, I don't know, maybe I can focus on both of everybody, But welcome to episode 42. Brat Said That. I am your host, Brat Jackson. I was going to just originally do StreamYard, and I like it. But I love Facebook Live. So, here's what the deal is. This is live. No interruptions, no cuts, no camera, no gimmick. Well, camera, obviously. But when I post it onto the YouTube, it's going to have the pictures, the images, I'm not even recording. Hold on. Am I recording? Hold on. Hello? Hold on. See, this is why I should be recording, right? I don't know. I don't even know if I'm recording on StreamYard. It says record. Record. Oh, my Lord. I was not even recording the whole entire time. Jeez. All right. Well, you know what, StreamYard, you gotta go for now. So, guys, I guess it's just you and I talking on the Facebook Live. Listen, I'm going to do StreamYard from now on. Episode 43 is coming up probably Friday or Saturday. That will be exclusively on StreamYard. No more Facebook Live. Because I don't get much interaction. And obviously talking for an hour nonstop makes my throat hurt. But I do love you. And plus, I don't get too much engagement, I don't. It's cool, people, McGrady or Alex will stop by. But that's it. I'm a little upset spaghetti about, the lack of interest. But, hey, I'm not stopping anytime soon. But, you know what's not stopping by anytime soon? The road to WrestleMania is underway. And thank you all for everybody who came to hung out during the Elimination Chamber watch along. It was fun. Babe was there. Penny was there. Rolly was there. Quick recap, because if you want to know the chamber, go watch it. And if you want to know what happens at the men's chamber, watch my watch-along. But Rhea Ripley won the women's chamber. She is now facing Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Shockingly, Randy Orton won the men's chamber. Not shockingly, but I think we all were thinking Cody was going to win. He is now going on to the main event of WrestleMania. CM Punk defeated Finn Balor in a kind of lackluster match. Not to say, anything those two do, they can't put on a good match, but their match a few weeks ago in Dublin was much better. Much, much better. But AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, AJ Lee defeated Becky Lynch to become the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. Those two on paper sounds like a dream match. And it is. But the chemistry, no. The chemistry for those two are just not there. It really isn't. And but AJ Lee, she is the new, champion, so good for her. Her and Punk are the new champions couple. But I think the most shocking thing, that got everybody talking about was the shocking appearance of Danhausen. Very evil, very scary. Yes, Danhausen arrived. I love Danhausen. I'm a big fan of Danhausen. Listen, a lot of people are I think Danhausen's going to be in the box. This hat is way too tight. Do you see that? I'm taking off my hat today. You're going to get, man that needs hair today. But, a lot of people on the internet was Danhausen. Stop it with the Vince McMahon in the box. Stop it with the Chris Jericho in the box. It was always going to be Danhausen. And the fact that we got Danhausen and people are still complaining just means that wrestling fans will complain about anything. But it didn't go over well. It went over well for about 2.4 seconds, and then people were booing. Everybody was like, what is that? See, that's how much that hat hurts. That's a very tight hat. I need to get a new hat. Anyway, people complain about everything, and they have complained, and I'm going to complain about everything. Danhausen, it was a flop, so I got to do it because it's Monday. Danhausen, I don't want to, but since it is the worst thing that happened this week, Danhausen, very evil, very scary, very rich, very bratwursty. So Danhausen, you have won the BratWURST Award of the Week. Please don't curse me. I'm finally getting back on track in life. I don't need any more curses. But to be honest, I think the most shocking thing was the reveal of the Mysterious Man Part 4. Seth Rollins is back. Yes, Seth Rollins came back at the end of the chamber, cost Logan Paul the opportunity, and pretty much took out the Vision. And he's back. I'm glad he's back. I've been watching a lot of Seth Rollins out of character NFL, ESPN stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna come back?" Well, I don't know. My shoulder doesn't. No. He's back. He is back and on full blast. So just a little recap of Elimination Chamber. But I do want to talk about Raw, because Raw is what happened last night. We have a lot to talk about. We do. And I think we're going to start off with the opening. Seth Rollins took out Paul Heyman. Chair shot, just like he did with the Shield years ago. Hits Paul Heyman in the back. And gives Paul Heyman a stomp. Takes him out of action. If I'm Paul Heyman, I sell this for months. I don't show up next week. I don't show up for Mania. The Vision is slowly fading apart, and Seth Rollins is the one to do it. Now, what does this mean for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? Obviously, I think the original plan, and what should be the plan, if he can come back, Braun Breaker. Breaker versus Rollins. I don't want to see Breaker versus Logan. I don't want to see Rollins versus Logan. We saw that a couple of WrestleManias ago. Rollins versus Bronson is something different, but I don't want to see that either. But this is my little fantasy booking for the Vision. Okay. Rollins, Breaker, Bronson, LA Knight. Yeah. And then you have the Usos. Yes, the Usos taking on Austin Theory and Logan Paul in a Sin City Street fight. I can't believe I messed up the word city. I live here, guys. Sin City Street fight for the World Tag Team Championships. As you saw last night, Jay is on crutches and hits both division members. The Usos on top. So there you go. I think that's kind of the best thing to do for everybody. I think Logan and Austin make a good team. Obviously, the Vision, if Braun can come back, if Bronson can come back, I don't know the Braun situations, but I would hate for them to miss WrestleMania, because they kind of, I don't want to use the term carry, but they carry this company for the last, for a while now. But, that's what I think is going to happen. But WrestleMania is still a few weeks away. AJ Lee, the new WWE Intercontinental Women's... That's a WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. That's a long thing to say. She issued an open challenge for WrestleMania, but then I think the #1 contendership match is next week. So, what's going on with that? That's kind of weird. She's like, I want to face somebody, da-da-da-da-da-da. She's a fighting champion. I think they said at WrestleMania, but then they're like, well, we're going to have a #1 contenders match next week. So is the winner facing AJ at WrestleMania for the Women's Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. WrestleMania, let's see. Punk versus Roman is set. Stephanie McMahon versus Liv Morgan is set. Drew versus Orton, we'll talk about that. Jade Cargill Rhea is set, and Brock Lesnar did set his open challenge to anybody out there. So, I don't know. There's still a long road to WrestleMania. And, everybody was saying Paige, because Paige would come back and answer the challenge like she did to win her first Divas Championship. And I think that's cool. But do you really put Paige in a spot like that after being gone from the company for so long? And these other women that have busted their tookuses off for years, like Maxine Dupree, Natty, Io Sky, Asuka, all these other women. And you're going to give a spot to, like, somebody who's not there? I don't know. But I don't think Paige is, like, what? I don't know, like, she's, like, a legend just because she's wrestled. But her time in the ring was kind of short if you really think about it. Well, not over. I mean, she wrestled when she was younger. But in the WWE, like, you know, what? She's, like, 2013 and, like, 2018? So, I don't know. One thing, though, Gunther, Dragon Lee happened. Dragon Lee unmasked. I hear a lot of things on the internet. A lot of people are upset about it for some reason. Like, you don't unmask luchadors. Listen, I get it. Lucha Libre is an amazing tradition. But the fact is, it's a different time, especially in America, where it's like, you win a match, you show your mask, you show your face, you know, it's not as, like, you know, hardcore when it comes in America. But, you know, Gunther, I heard Gunther might go for Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. And I was like, that's a great idea. Not only Gunther is kind of doing the career killer, he's kind of unmasking people. So, you know, Gunther versus Mysterio would be fantastic. Different styles, different points in their careers. But one person, though, that is the WrestleMania journey is a little different than I thought it would be. Penta is now the Intercontinental Champion. Yes, congrats to Penta. Zero Mero. He is the new IC Champion. He defeated Dominic Mysterio after Danhausen, put a curse. You know, this is what I'm talking about Danhausen. People were complaining about Danhausen, but Danhausen put a curse and he got a pop. They know who Danhausen is. That's what you need Danhausen to do. These little funny segments. He's an okay wrestler. Definitely more on the indie scenes. But then, like, he's a gimmick, and it's okay to have a gimmick in 2026. You know? It's okay to have that spot on the card. The ha-ha, it's Danhausen. Ha-ha, it's Kit Wilson. Ha-ha, it's R-Truth. It's okay. And Danhausen he's, you know, but congrats to Penta. I don't know what they're going to do for the IC Championship at WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be Penta versus Dom. I think Dominic and Finn are going to go at it because Finn stopped JD from helping Dom last night. That caused him to lose the IC Championship to Penta. So I think it's going to be Finn versus Dominic. Maybe a stipulation. I can definitely see it being the Demon, Finn Balor. Judgment Day ran its course. It's over. Maybe custody of JD McDonough ladder match. Imagine that. Imagine Dominic Mysterio having a custody match, ladder match, after he was in the custody ladder match, the custody of the ladder match. But the big thing that happened last night was, of course, Punk Roman, their second promo, their second build to WrestleMania. And it ended with CM Punk saying that he's going to bury Roman Reigns next to his dad. Ouch. As a member of the DDC, ouch. You know, dead dads are just something, it always, you know, it gets that last jab, the shocking, did he just say that, even if any family member, but I'm hyped for it. It better be a brawl. I don't want to see these two have a blood feud leading up to WrestleMania, and then just like WrestleMania 25 or in Triple H, a boring-ass 25-minute match. But I don't see this. Put Punk, put Roman, say you got 40 minutes, go. They'll have a match that people talk about forever. So, WrestleMania is in good hands. You know, this is feeling little bit more WrestleMania-like. I'm excited. You know, it's been a bumpy ride, and I'm sure, you know, in my head, it's going to be a little bit different than what I think. You know, if I was a booker, I would be planning out, you know, all this stuff for WrestleMania that might be a little bit different. Like, I don't see Usos versus the Vision happening. I would love to, but, you know, what is Pent to do for the IC Championship? You have to have the IC Championship on the line. Oh, plus also, too, we're definitely going to get El Grande Americano Kaiser versus El Grande Americano Gable. That's a, you know, like I was talking about Danhausen. There's the spectacular matches, the Punk and the Roman. There's going to be, you know, the women. There's going to be, you know, add a celebrity in there. I don't know what celebrity, but the El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano matches, that's like, you know, an extra little bit of the recipe that is WrestleMania. So, one person, though, I do want to talk about, where in the world they've been, is Royce Keyes. Yes, Royce Keyes, Powerhouse Hobbs, he was on the Rumble. He come out on the Rumble, and then all of a sudden, he does like a main event match, and then he does the podcast with Stephanie McMahon, and he hasn't been seen again. Where is Royce Keyes? Who knows? WWE status gets bleak update after epic debut. I wouldn't call it epic. I mean, it was dope, but it wasn't epic. You know, he was in that What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon, and he hasn't really been utilized. I don't know why. He's a mystery, and we'll see. But, you know, the best thing is, you know, once, you know, you come back or you make your debut, you know, you let it sizzle, let people forget about you, and then bam, you're back. You know, Vision needs a big member. If both Ron and Braun are out, Royce Keyes can be a great member of the Vision. But, so, Raw last night, very, very good Raw. Definitely gets you hyped as hell for WrestleMania. They did everything perfect. The only thing I didn't like is Maxine versus Natty is not going over, you know. But speaking about WrestleMania weekend, there's a lot of shenanigans happening. But we got to say congrats to Demolition for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just the Axe and the Smash. Not any of the other, you know, Crush or Blast. But Axe or Smash, you know, they were the longest reigning tag team champions of all the time. 3-time champions. You know, they were like, you know, they were what you needed. Like LOD was like, oh, they're taking over the WCW, NWA. Vince was like, well, we need one of those for me. So he made it Bill Eadie and what was the other guy? Smash. Smash was the Repo Man, Barry Darso. So congrats to them. One of the most historic tag teams ever. I honestly thought they were already in the Hall of Fame. But, you know, I love it. Class of 2026. We got a good team so far. Stephanie McMahon, you know, AJ Styles and Demolition. 3-time tag team champions. We'll have a couple more, you know. Who do you think should be in? Who you know. I would love Bray Wyatt to be in this year. Especially if his dad isn't doing so good. If Mike Rotunda isn't doing so well. I would like to see Mike Rotunda see his son go into Hall of Fame. All right, Mike Rotunda. He was having a little bit of health battles. I saw him at WrestleCon, and he was in a walker. It's very sad. It's sad, but, you know. Yeah, he was in hospice care. And then, or he wasn't, or something, but, yeah, it was sad. So, hopefully we can have Bray in. Mike Rotunda himself is already in the Hall of Fame. But the Hall of Fame, I would love to go. I know it's going to be at like midnight our time, which would be like 3 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. But I would love to see that. I know the WWE World, you know, a lot of these things are cool. You know, you can have like, you know, meet and greets, WWE World, do Access, do WrestleCon, as long as the prices aren't outrageous. I know, like, they're doing a meet and greet with Stephanie McMahon. That's got to be, I'm going to say right here, $1,500. Has to be. You know? But, anyway. But that is the WWE portion of the show. AEW, not much is going on. I haven't really followed AEW since the Tony Schiavone incident. You know, we're talking about Revolution coming up. And just, I think it's like, when is it? Revolution? Next week, the 15th, you know, but I don't know. You know, I think the only match added is Andrade versus Bandito, which would be a great match. But you know, after the whole, yeah, I tried, guys. I really did try. But, you know. But this Saturday, though, we do have a huge UFC fight coming up. UFC 326 Holloway versus Oliveira 2. But before we talk about that, we got to talk about the last fight that happened last Saturday. Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanagh. Guys, I was wrong. I thought Brandon Moreno was going to come off with a win. But Kavanagh snuck a win and kind of surprised everybody. Decision, unanimously, 49-46, 48-47, 48-47. Brandon Moreno, former UFC flyweight champion, now 2 losses in a row, and 4 out of his last 6 for the, baby assassin? The assassin baby, excuse me. Mix that up. I've been doing that a lot. At work, I'll be like, oh, your total's 27-42. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm sorry, 72-42, you know. It's dyslexia. I couldn't say a word today. I was talking to Babe on the phone, and I could not say a word. But overall, you know, it was a good fight card. King Green knocked the heck out of Daniel Zellhuber, and Marlon Vera got another loss. You know, that's another loss for him. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 losses in a row. So we'll see what happens. Damn it, I don't want to say we'll see. Of course we'll see. That's what life happens. But, you know, good fight card. But this week, UFC 326, the BMF Championship is on the line between Max Holloway, the champion, and Charles Oliveira. We're going to give our predictions next show. And, you know, it's right here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. I would love to go to, like, the open workout. It's not a workout. It's the press conference of the weigh-ins. I haven't done that in a long time. But, you know, and then the middleweight, you got Chao Barrero versus Rene de Ritter. Rob Font versus Raul Rosa. Good kid. Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. And Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira in the main card. It's going to be a hell of a card. Cody Garbrandt, former champion, on the preliminaries. And then, is that guy I don't like? Hold on. Let's see. Is that the guy I don't like? Yeah, that one turn I don't like is on the far too. But, you know, we'll give our predictions. We'll talk more about it. Max Holloway is one of the best. You know, somebody said, show me a elite Max Holloway win. Well, I'll give you like 10 right now. His win against Gaethje. His win against Yair Rodriguez. His dominant win over Calvin Kattar. His win against Edgar Ortega. That fight was amazing. Oh, Alex is here. And then the 2 wins with Jose Aldo. I mean, the dude's been great. You know, he's a BMF. He's the baddest mother effer out there. And then his opponent, Charles Oliveira, coming off a huge win. I don't know if he lost and won the last fight. In Rio in October. So these two fought before, but unfortunately ended really quickly, very unsatisfactorily in August of 2025, ending in the first minute of the first round after Oliveira hurt his esophagus. Wow, I've never seen the word esophagus. Let me guess, you know what fight was amazing? You trying to get your pee-pee out of your pants. Well, you know what, Jackson vs. Pancakes, you talk about how that fight was amazing. That fight was 4 years ago, and you still talk about it. So, that's amazing. Okay? By the way, let me tell you about that match, okay? Me and Pancakes, love the guy, great guy, really, really, really good guy. Didn't like him in the beginning, but I like him now. We had everything planned, but some communication just mixing up. It happens. You know, things happen. Wrestling happens. But if you think I'm done wrestling, I probably am. But I'm probably not. But I probably am. But you know who's not done wrestling? World American Freestyling. They had their event. I'm really into this. This is like freestyle wrestling with, like, you know, a good theme to it. Henry Cejudo versus Ryer Faber. You know, Henry Cejudo is... He's an Olympic gold medalist. Ryan Faber is a legend in MMA, but it was just a dominant performance by Henry Cejudo. But then this is what really got everybody talking. This is what got the world talking. Arman Tsarukyan, gonna be the #1 contender for the lightweight championship. He took on Giorgio Paulus, right? And there was a little bit of controversy after that fight, because during the grappling match, Paulus kept poking. Oh, babe, I love you. She's so cute. She's sending me hearts. Following Tsarukyan's win over Paulus at RFA 6, a post-match altercation between the two escalated into a brawl involving members of both teams. Footage of the incident shows Tsarukyan striking, which you can't do in wrestling, after the match before additional individuals entered and the situation developed into a melee. So, that is insane. And then Aljamain versus Benson Henderson. Now, talking about Benson Henderson, I wanna say something about Benson Henderson. We all know him, former UFC champion, former WC champion. He said he's ending his retirement and coming out of retirement to fight in Brussels, which I think is somewhere over there, a country we're at war with. And he said something to the effect of, what he said, I should have had this ready. He said something that I supported. I posted it on the internet, but he was just like, why are we doing this White House thing? This White House shouldn't be a spectacular. This is a White House on the White House card. Sorry. Former UFC champion Benson Henderson says he won't be at the White House card, which would be great. He's not interested in it. It just shows you let's see. Benson Henderson doesn't agree with such a significant place like the White House being used to host a UFC event in order to celebrate both America's and Donald Trump's birthday. Well, we'll just say they're celebrating my birthday. Henderson was beaten by Aljamain Sterling this past weekend. He said, I don't know if I'm going to tune into the White House card if it happens. He says, if that goes through, I don't think I'm tuning in. That's the same thing, just different words. A spectacular, the word you just used is spectacular. He responded, is the White House card the highest seat of our government supposed to be as spectacular? Am I saying that right? S-P-E-C-T-A-C-L-E. Spectacular? Yeah, whatever. Henderson, who retired in 2023, So, yeah, a lot of these fighters are having opinions on the White House card. I still don't think it's going to happen. I've said it for months. I think the White House card is ridiculous. We have, especially what's going on right now. I don't think we should have a fight on the White House grounds. Especially if people like Conor McGregor and John Jones are going to fight. Now, don't get me wrong. Conor McGregor, legend. John Jones hated him to death, but he's a legend. John Jones and Conor McGregor's past, don't really celebrate what we should be celebrating. But other than that, we'll see. June 14th, it's on the... I don't know. I don't know. They said it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I've been saying that for weeks and months, and I don't. Spectacle. I love her so much. Spectacle. This is what she has to deal with, by the way, for the rest of her life. She's like the hottest autocorrect you could ever think of. But yes. Thank you. Spectacle. High school dropout. Anyway, NFL is, it's an off season. We just had a Super Bowl a few weeks ago. The combine's happening, but the mock draft is out. Fernando Mendoza's got to be the first pick of the Raiders, or else I'm done. I'm out. I'm done being a Raiders fan. But for everybody else, I've been thinking about this draft for a lot, When I'm laying in bed and I'm cuddling babe and I'm like, I wonder what Fernando Mendoza's jersey's going to be. Or I wonder what he's... No, I'm just joking. Fernando Mendoza, he's going to be number 1. He's coming to the Raiders. And then you have, the Jets number 2. They're looking to get, the linebacker from Ohio State, Arvell Reese. Arizona needs to do something. They're trying to get... This is all ESPN mock draft. I'm going to name, the first 10. David Bailey. Oh, Bailey. From Texas Tech. Titans, they got a new head coach, so they're kind of in a better position. Ruben Bangin Jr., Giants need to do something. Now, Sonny Styles, I think we talked about him a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago. Last time, and how he showed a really good showing at the Combine. He's looking to go number 5 to the Giants. He's from Ohio State. Browns constantly bad, always in the top 10 of drafting. Monroe Freeling from Georgia. Commanders, they had a rough season. You're never done being a Raiders fan. I've been saying I'm done being a Raiders fan for years. But Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. New Orleans, they had a little bit better season than they thought they were going to do. But they're looking to get Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. Surprisingly, Kansas City has the first top 10 pick. Cardinal Tate, wide receiver. Something Patrick Mahomes can throw to. And the Bengals, Mansour Delane from LSU. Now, these can all change. Trades, other people, this never really sticks to the script. But this really isn't like a quarterback class. Like some years you have 6 or 7 quarterbacks that can go in the top 2 rounds. But I think right now it's just Fernando, he's the main quarterback. And Ty Simpson, he's supposed to go late in the first round from Alabama. And then that's really it for the first round. In round 2, quarterbacks, because quarterbacks, everybody knows a quarterback. Let's see. Yeah, hello. Yeah, quarterback. So it's not a quarterback heavy draft, which is okay, But this year the Falcons are going to have their game at Real Madrid's stadium. Now I'm going to try to pronounce this. I don't know French. Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Spain. The matchup and date will be announced, and the NFL schedule underscoring the league's continued global expansion. NFL's been to Spain, or they're going to Spain, Brazil, Germany, everywhere. So them going to Spain really just shows that NFL is the most dominant sports league going right now. Which is cool because, if you're not in America, it's hard to see your favorite football team play. Clearly, because oceans. But one person I do want to talk about, Khalil Mack, drafted by the Raiders. One of the only good drafts Raiders have done in the last 15 years. Of course, he was sent off 3 years afterwards. He said, you know what, I'm 35. I'm not going to call it a career. I'm coming back. And, really good player for the Raiders. So, of course, we were like, go away. So, he had his really best years as a Raider. Now he plays for the Chargers. Pretty much one of the future Hall of Famer. I can pretty much clearly say that. Oh, I love that she loves that. But, that is a mock draft, and that's the NFL portion. A little bit of news. It's hard to talk about NFL when it's not happening. But, MLB is going on. The World Baseball Classic is happening right now. Kind of fun exhibition games. I was watching Team USA versus the San Francisco Giants. And, this year we're going to look at the schedule. Let's see. I got the schedule right here. I just want to say one thing. When I do this show, I always like to go to CBS Sports, NBC Sports, and I'll copy and paste the link that I'm researching and post it on my notes. And every time, it's always source, ChatGPT. The big wigs are using ChatGPT. But, World Baseball Classic, March 6th to 11th, opening round pool play. March 13th and 14th, quarterfinal play. Single elimination, March 15th and 16th, semifinals. And the championship final, March 18th. Now, Pool A. We haven't really talked about the pools. Canada, Colombia, Cuba, Panama, and Puerto Rico, Pool A. They're playing, I think, in Puerto Rico, which is America. Pool B. Location, Houston, Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, and the United States. Pool C, Tokyo Dome. Australia, Chinese, Taipei, Chechnya, Japan, and Korea. Didn't know Chechnya had a baseball team. Pool D, in Miami, Dominican Republic, Israel, Netherlands, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. So, that's cool. Team USA, I think we're all supporting Team USA. Friday, March 6th, taking on Brazil. Saturday, March 7th, taking on Great Britain. Monday, March 9th, Mexico. Tuesday, March 10th, Italy. I got March 11th on my mind. I wonder why. The last two, Japan won in 2006 and 2009. Dominican Republic won in 2013. We won in 2017, and Japan won in 2023, which we all remember. It came down to Ohtani and Trout, teammates at the time. Ohtani struck out Trout. It was classic. It was great. I do have the World Baseball Classic roster for the U.S. Clay Holmes, Clayton Kershaw, Paul Skeens, Therese Cabal, Logan Webb, catchers Kyle Raleigh, Will Smith, getting jiggy with it. He must have heard that so much in his life. I gotta talk about it. Why would you, I think Will Smith is young enough to have been named after Will Smith got, my dad's name was Michael Jackson. And obviously he was born before, but I'm sure I was never called Blanket growing up, but having a same name as a famous celebrity must really suck. But infield, Alex Bregman, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper, Bobby Witt Jr., outfielders Roman Anthony, Byron Buxton, Pete Crow Armstrong, and the captain Aaron Judge, and the designated hitter Kyle Schwarber. So we're in good hands. Team America, I don't know why I'm yelling, but we're in good hands. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really, really, any little sliver of baseball, I'm all for. But where did what was the, okay. So, one thing I gotta do too, we gotta play this game. We didn't do it last show, but we're doing it today because, I do want to talk about something. Oh, the phone's ringing. Hello? It is Tuesday. We don't do these segments on Tuesday. Really? You want to do it today? You want to do it today, but it happened yesterday? Yeah, I know I do like a good conspiracy theory. Yeah, I do got to kill some time, too. Okay. I had a great February. How was yours? Yeah, okay. All right. Bye. Love you, too. Bye. Yes, that's right. We're going back in time. We're doing a little segment that we didn't do last time. This day in sports history, but it's a day that happened yesterday. And it's one of the kind of biggest debates going on in basketball history. March 2nd, 1962. Hershey Sports Arena. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. Now, only player to ever score 100 points in an NBA game. Or did he? A lot of people saying that it's not true because of the fact that it's not broadcasted. There's no footage of it. There's footage of us walking on the moon, and there's footage of other things, but there is no footage, only a picture of Wilt Chamberlain holding a picture that says 100. Now, why do I like talking about it? Because I like conspiracy theories, and I like basketball, and it's a fun topic to talk about. So, did Wilt Chamberlain actually score 100 points? Now, let's see. My co-producer, Chad LeBitch, said yes, it absolutely happened. Now, here's why some people question it. There's no full game video, only short clips, and stats weren't tracked like today. The game is officially recognized by the NBA. Box scores exist. Teammates, opponents, and media confirm it, and the famous photo of Wilt holding the 100 sign is real. Now, Wilt did average 50.4 points per game that season. 50 a game. Most unbreakable record in sports history. Now, can it not be real? Can it all be kind of, no serious evidence suggests it's fake. And then, was it fake? He's just repeating himself. So let me go on the internet to see why is Wilt's 100-point game controversial. All right, let's see. No video footage, unconventional gameplay. In the final quarter, the Knicks purposely fouled other players to keep the ball from Wilt. Low profile setting. The game was played in a Hershey rather than a major arena with a crowd of 4,100. The NBA 1962 had a much lower profile. Let's see. This is on Reddit. For people thinking the 100-point game is fake, I'm not reading all that. But, yeah. So, I don't know. It could be real. It could be not. Wilt and 100-point game conspiracy. Today is the anniversary of one of the most famous performances in history. The radio broadcast was lost. Let's see. The result, a fully reported 50-minute documentary that not even the Basketball Hall of Fame, which I would love to go to, which has somehow never put up a Wilt exhibit, can rival. And based on months and months of work that our staff, this is Pablo.show, can rival in a case study in why I want to do the show. YouTube spoilers, got a lot of people talking. So I think, I'm going to watch this documentary and see how it is. It's only in the 60s, so conspiracy theories, 100-point season, a single game record is a lie. This is University of Central Florida, which I think I lived right by. Where is it? Yeah, Orlando. So, let me know what you think. Do you think the Wilt game was a hoax? I mean, why? Wilt Chamberlain of Philadelphia Warriors fights for the rebound. This is in 1959. Let's see. In fact, an audio recording from the game exists, but a not full broadcast. Pretty much nothing really exists. No footage. If you haven't seen it, is it real? So it's got a lot of talk to it. Here's the New York Times. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. Why there are some saying pics or didn't happen? So pretty much everything is this is no footage of it. And there's a lot of footage from that era too, so it's not shocking that I don't know. We haven't seen anything like that. I know Kobe scored 81. I think that's the closest. Most points in a single NBA game. Wilt got 100 that day. Kobe 81 in 2006. Wilt also in 61, 78. Damn, and Wilt did it twice in 62 and 62. So, I mean, he scored 72, 73, and 78 in 61, 62, and 63. So, and then 70 and 63. So, damn, that's crazy. Michael Jordan's high is 69. Giggity. Wilt Chamberlain also scored 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Wow, that's crazy. He scored 68 points, 67, 4 times, 66, 65. That is insane. Giannis had a 64-point game. Luka had a 73-point game for the Mavericks, and then we traded him. Dick. But yeah, this is actually a really fun show. But yeah, that's a little that happened in sports and history. But one thing though, Luke Kornet from the Spurs, he criticized the Hawks' planned Magic City Night partnership due to its adult entertainment ties, sparking league debate. Luke Kornet calls on the Atlanta Hawks to cancel their upcoming collaboration with Magic City, saying he and other NBA players were surprised by the team's decision to promote the adult entertainment club. The San Antonio Spurs wrote Monday that allowing the event during the Hawks game unless Magic would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community, specifically in being complicit in the potential objectification and mistreatment of women. Sorry, I kind of spit everywhere. But I get it. Strippers and basketball players go as well as like peanut butter and jelly. But, this is a society where the kids are really, influential. So I know Magic City is an Atlanta theme because, I hear it in, Welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta. Tuesday, you can see me at Magic City. Where is it? Let's see. Welcome to Atlanta. The players play. Yeah, so. I don't know. I don't think you should really be promoting strippers in a game. But, make that money, honey. But we are a little over a month away from the NBA regular season closing. And the play-in tournament, April 14th and 17th. And the NBA playoffs happening next month, April 18th. And the finals starting June 3rd. The only team to clinch so far is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So congrats to them. That is a huge, a huge get to clinch and move on to another finals victory. So, NHL, Dallas Stars extended their franchise record winning streak to 9 games with a big 6-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. Good for the Dallas Stars. I don't like the Cowboys, and I love the Mavericks, but the Stars are okay. And, once the hockey playoffs and the basketball playoffs happen, I feel like it was just yesterday we just started talking about it. We still got a month and a half to go, and that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 15 shows away. But, once you get into the, mid-50s, we're in for some playoff talk. One thing we're going to really, really, really focus on this year for the first time, obviously, because it's the first time we did it. March Madness. March Madness is happening. The Selection Sunday, March 15th, that is next Sunday. So we're talking about that the next day. I think, let's see. I know, the, what is it, the conferences were, getting, I think Duke won the ACC and others. So I don't know too much about, you got to win the conference and get the number 1 seed. I could be right. Let's see, automatic qualifiers in the division men's tournament. So nothing just yet. But, a few more days and we'll get, the, all the teams, everything. I love the March Madness. We'll do our own bracket. I think Chandler BT would, he's going to put out his picks, what is it, what is it? How does it go? Sweet 16 and the Final 4. Let's see, the first round, round of 64. Second round, round of 32. Sweet 16, Elite 8, and the Final 4 in the championship. So, I'll post, I'll bracket, this time I'll kind of use my head this time and not just my heart, but, yeah. Bracket projections are shifting as real March Madness leads begin, with Florida, Michigan State climbing, and Duke, Michigan, Arizona, UConn at the top of the early projections. Arizona clinched the Big 12 regular season title, like I was talking about, with the big win over Iowa State. Illinois will face Wisconsin in the opening round of the Big Ten tournament with NCAA hopes on the line. So, good for that. How long have I been on? Been on for a while. Let's see. 48 minutes. Okay, this is kind of like how we usually end the show. A few miscellaneous talks. Sadly, Bruce Campbell. If you don't know who Bruce Campbell is, you are living on a rock. He is Ash from The Evil Dead. He is one of my favorite actors. I don't talk about too much, but Evil Dead I love. He's done a lot of amazing things. Trying to look at his IMDb to really tell you what you would know. Yeah, Ash versus the Evil Dead. He announced that he has a form of cancer, which is on March 2nd. Campbell announced on social media that he is diagnosed with a type of cancer that's treatable, not curable. Which prayers to him. He's been in all the Spider-Man movies as the dude in the background. Let's see. Campbell had main roles of television series, Jack of All Trades, The Legendary Journeys of Hercules. Hercules. Wow. Kevin Sorbo. And then, Evil Dead's here. That's like his mostly cult is like the Evil Dead. And I love the Evil Dead movies. Horror movies are like my second, third love. Army of Darkness. I love even like the new Evil Dead was really good too. Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Burn is coming out. Oh wow, okay, so more Evil Deads. We can really talk about this too, since we're on this topic of horror movies. I kind of saw Scream. When I say kind of, I saw like heavy spoilers. I will go see it, but it really wasn't what I thought. I hear a lot about Matthew Lillard coming back as Stu, but maybe I have to go watch it. I hate the mixed twins. I do. I like the actors, but the Chad and Mindy I don't like. Sydney coming back as the main target, obviously is great. But Dewey, it's just too much. Now, I know I don't want to spoil it, but like, the reveals weren't who you thought they would be, which I guess is okay. I don't think anybody. Well, obviously nobody knew that Billy and Stu were the first Ghostface, and so on and so on. But I don't know. I don't think it was really a good movie. But I'll go see it. But speaking about movies, we're gonna end the show on this. It is awards season. I love awards. I love the Academy Awards. I love the Grammys. They had the SAG Actor Awards, which I guess is just like another award show. The Actors Awards. It was last night. Michael B. Jordan won for Sinners. Outstanding performance by a male actor. I think he's going to win that all throughout the Academy. These are like the preliminaries. Like, there's nothing that beats the Academy Awards. And now when the Academy Awards happens, if I'm off, we'll talk about it. Even if it's like 6 hours, we'll have a watch along with it. But, outstanding performance by a female. Jessie Buckley for Shakespeare. I've never seen that. Sean Penn, supporting One Battle After Another. Great movie. Amy Madigan, she was in Weapons, for supporting actor. Sinners, outstanding performance by cast. And then Mission Impossible. But for television, the one thing I'm most happy about, Noah Wiley. For the Pitt, Dr. Robbie Rabinovich. Babe and I watch it. This season's a little slow, but well, first cough. But you got to remember, it takes part for one day. It's one day, and every week. You got to remember. But it's 4th of July. We've had accidents so far. So once everybody gets drunk and the fireworks go off, the season will kind of escalate. But other than that, and the whole cast won for outstanding performance by ensemble and drama. So good for them. And, In Memoriam. Oh, the In Memoriam made me so sad. Brat said he hates Raheem. Go Randy. Now, did I ever talk about that? I don't think I ever talked about that. Thank you for bringing that up, Freshie. So, we all know Randy won. We gotta go jump back before we get off. Randy won the Elimination Chamber. Drew came out, cost Cody. Now it's Cody versus Drew at SmackDown. Thank you, Fresh. I did not even talk about that. I don't know why they're doing this. Now, I think they're going to go to like a 5-way. Cody, Drew, Randy, Jacob, and Sammy. I hear they're trying to do Sammy versus Trick. I don't know. I don't think Cody should get an immediate title shot after losing. But that definitely changed the trajectory of WrestleMania. Joy Fresh, once again, thank you for the ticket. I will talk to you about the, I still owe you. Haven't forgot about you. Now that I'm back at a good job that pays, I'll throw you some bones when I see you again. But we definitely got to hit up WrestleCon or something this year. But, yeah, the 32 Actor Awards, it was good. A lot of the in memoriam made me sad. James Van Der Beek, Michelle Trachtenberg. It's so sad. Robert Carradine, who just passed. Robert Redford, Diane Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, Val Kilmer, Gene Hackman, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Rob Reiner. It's crazy, like, they stacked, like, the very end of, like, the in memorials with, like, people you do know. I just found out Rick Hurst passed away, and if you know who Rick Hurst is, he's the dad of Opie, Brian Hurst from Sons of Anarchy. But, yeah, the in memoriam, I think Patton Oswalt said the only way he's gonna get on the he's ever gonna get on the Oscars is in memoriam. But yeah, so WrestleMania is coming up. But that is it for the show. I had a really good show. I had fun. But to recap, we gotta hit something for sure. Elimination Chamber. Thank you all for coming and watching the watch along. I had fun. Babe had fun. Raw, really good Raw. Leading up to WrestleMania, Penta with the IC Championship. I can't wait. WrestleMania is going to be here before we know it. MMA, UFC, Kavanagh, Moreno, Holloway, Oliveira. We'll give our predictions next show. And NFL, Fernando. We've been talking about it for months and months. The mock drafts are out. MLB, World Baseball Classic. We're going to talk about all the games. Go Team USA. NBA, this day in history, yesterday. Wilt Chamberlain, 100-point game, you tell me. March Madness is heating up. And, yeah, so BratWURST Award goes to Danhausen. Yeah. And, guys, I had a really, really good show. I'm getting really good at this. Listen, I say this at the end of the show. Go follow me on YouTube. Brat said that, too. Please. It'll mean nothing to you, but everything to me. Brat said that X, John Cena, and Scott Steiner are following me. So if they're following me, you should too. Instagram, Brat Jackson, and bodyslam.net. I've uploaded episode 41. I'm going to upload the watch along. Guys, we're just getting started. By the way, the answer to everything, and the reason why that is the thumbnail of the show is because the answer to everything 42 from A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I never seen it, never read the book. I read a recap about it, but I'm gonna get off. I gotta do the dishes, clean the house before baby gets home. And guys, I had a really good show. Tell me what you thought about it. I love you all. Remember, I know it's going fucking crazy right now. War, bills, but remember, love yourselves. And love each other. I love sports. And I love you. So guys, good night. I will be back Saturday. Saturday's a good day. I got a show later in the day. Somewhere on Paradise Road. I gotta make some funnies. But guys, I'm gonna get off. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Episode 43 this Saturday. Good night, guys.